We are now going to leave the kind of different processes of the carbon cycle and go into the different human impacts on the carbon cycle. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, humans have had a huge impact on the carbon cycle, the biggest of which is the emission of carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuels. That is going to move carbon from the lithosphere, where it was safely stored, into the atmosphere, where it becomes a greenhouse gas, via the process of combustion. The farming of beef also increases methane production. Deforestation has had a huge impact on the amount of photosynthesis happening. Because there's less photosynthesis, because there's less trees, that means that less carbon dioxide is being taken out of the atmosphere, which kind of unbalances the equilibrium or the stability that existed between photosynthesis and cellular respiration. In a perfect world, and certainly before humans came along, the amount of photosynthesis and the amount of cellular respiration were in balance to one another, which kept the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere stable. By reducing the amount of trees and increasing the movement of carbon from the lithosphere to the atmosphere, that equilibrium and that stability have decreased. Land use practices also result in increased erosion, which moves carbon out of the soil faster, also decreases plant productivity, which means less photosynthesis. By increasing the amount of greenhouse gases going into the air and decreasing the amount that are pulled out of the air, this means that more heat is trapped by the atmosphere, which has, of course, led to global warming and climate change. Less plant productivity and less biomass because of deforestation also decreases the albedo of Earth, which, if you remember, is the reflectivity of Earth. And because Earth is then less reflective, less solar radiation is reflected away from Earth and back out into space. More of it is just absorbed by the soil, for instance. Increased temperature increases the rate of decomposition as well. So when it's hotter out, dead things decompose faster. This is why you should never leave a body in the back of your car in the summer. I mean, one of the reasons why you shouldn't. And why dead bodies like mammals and stuff like that have been found frozen in the tundra are very well preserved because things don't decompose as well when it's colder. So the heating of Earth increases decomposition rates of dead things. That means that carbon dioxide is being released from those dead things at a faster rate. Increased temperature also means that the hydrosphere, or the oceans, can hold less carbon dioxide. Water cannot dissolve as much stuff the warmer it gets. And that includes carbon dioxide, but also oxygen. Neither of those gases are dissolved well in hotter water. So as our oceans warm, both carbon dioxide and oxygen are released from the oceans. Carbon dioxide gets out into the atmosphere where it becomes a greenhouse gas. The oxygen, it's not bad that it's entering the atmosphere, but it is bad that we have less oxygen in our oceans where it's needed for the living things there. Increased temperature also results in increased population of methane-producing bacteria. And again, methane is a greenhouse gas, actually a stronger greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. And higher temperatures also accelerate the water cycle because water will evaporate faster when it's warmer, which increases the rate of erosion due to precipitation. So as you can see, humans have a lot of impacts on the carbon cycle. For each of the biogeochemical cycles, we are going to be looking at human impacts. But that is it for today's lesson.